Congratulations, Noel, and all the other students who participated. I couldn't Jim, I know you weren't my children, but thank you for sending your children, because it's been an honor to teach them. Actually, I wanted to talk about ask you to embellish upon the funding for what you said in the beginning that you, well, whatever.
Hi, this is gonna be fun passing the microphone around. I co-founded a nonprofit called Animation Diversity Foundation. With 3 other people, or 2 other people, and we have a few more members. It's for video game animation is to get as many underrepresented people into the field and supported as possible. There's a lot of people who don't have access to equipment, they don't have access to mentorship, they don't know where to go to learn. So we have an annual mentor program where we pick about 8 to 12 students or early career people to get them a mentor that they have one-on-one sessions with for a year. And we also offer a scholarship to GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference. We have 10 of those that we give out every year with a currently $1,000 stipend to travel with. And we assign you a mentor there, basically a buddy to go and show you around, take you to all the things that all the old people animators are doing so you can meet people who are in the industry and learn from them. And we also support giving people stipends for learning courses like through Gnomon or Animation Mentor or iAnimate, things like that. We know a lot of the professors there, so they give us a discount, and sometimes they give us free passes. So it depends on how much I make them mad at some point, I guess. So that's what we do. We haven't really expanded it to high school yet, but if you're over 18, you're definitely encouraged to check it out. I can give our information to all the teachers, and they can hand it out to y'all if you want. That's it.
Thank you.
Other questions? Don't all jump down at once. Come on, guys, this is going to be a really lame panel if there's only one question. Anybody?
What's your suggestion for starting out in animation? What groups to contact besides your nonprofit, which is amazing, but just simple things that students can look at now to get them onto the right road, taking the right courses, that type of thing.
Okay. I'll repeat the question for the microphone. I assume you want me to do that. You're looking at me like you do. Yeah. The question is, what can students do right now to learn more about how to start in animation? What courses, what websites, things like that. A few of the books that we always recommend everybody read. You're not going to learn a lot of animation from them, but knowing the history of animation is really important. Disney's Illusion of Life is a good one. Richard Williams' Animator's Toolkit is another great one. And I personally love, if you really want to see how cartoon animation is done and have samples to draw from, Preston Blair's Cartoon Animation was the first book that I got that I copied the ever-living hell out of. I can't 2D animate worth anything, but it's really good to know the principles even if you want to get into 3D animation. School-wise, there are online schools you can go to. They are not cheap. They're the ones that I mentioned. Animation Mentor is one that's really more film and VFX focused. iAnimate is another one that is more games focused. They do have game programs for that. The other thing is there are a lot of online communities where you can join Discords and you can post, like they do 10-second challenges or things like that, where you can kind of see what other people are doing and how they're learning. And the other one that I really love that's really good for beginners that maybe don't have the resources to spend money on classes is there's this thing, you have to look it up, I don't know the link off the top of my head, but it's Animators Island 51 exercises to learn how to animate. And they start out with like a bouncing ball test, flour sack, and they work your way all the way up to doing full shots with character animation. So those are really good to learn the fundamentals. I still every so often go back and do bouncing ball tests and flour sack tests just to get myself out of a rut. So they're really, really good to do even with a lot of experience because they kind of remind you of what it is to give life to literally anything. So those are I think where I would start.
Other questions?
Well, I've been told by a great animator, Tony White, that also worked with Richard Williams and so forth, but he said that Washington State, and I've heard from other colleges, don't have a large film animation component, and that we would have to go out of the state, usually Vancouver, BC for film, or California for film, for animation, I should say. And I would like to know if you support that thought.
So the question is, do I support the thought of students having to leave the state in order to get an animation education post high school? I mean, I have varying thoughts on going to college, but I will put those aside and say if you are set on going to college, you should go somewhere that you should research and try to find alumni groups of those schools and talk to the students that came out of them. Look them up on Twitter, or I don't know if they're really going to be complaining about anything on TikTok, but like on Twitter maybe, seeing how they feel like they did, seeing what kind of jobs they have, look them up on LinkedIn as well, see like, you know, how many students from Redland School of Art and Design are in film animation. Doing stuff like that, just to see if, you know, there are people that went to school for that are actually still doing it. That's going to be your real test on whether or not the school is good. Every school is going to sell you a bill of goods. They're all going to claim that they can get you 100% placement rate out of school. None of them can. It's a lie, because there aren't that many jobs. It's just the fact of the matter. So what you really want to do is talk to and find as many alumni groups as you can and talk to them. I also think you don't need to necessarily go physically to a school to learn animation. Being able to be around students is awesome. I went to Syracuse University. I went to school in 1994. There were 3 animation programs in the country that were undergrad at the time, and Syracuse was one of them. And it had also a broad range of other subjects that people could study. So I met a lot of people from all walks of life. And I firmly believe that you really should have experiences outside of the field that you want to learn in order to do the best at it. Brad Bird, who's a famous animation director, did Iron Giant and various other Pixar things, has once said, you cannot create the illusion of life if you do not have one. And I carry that with me all the time. Whenever I feel like I need to sit and work a little bit longer and it's nice out, I just look at it like, the work's gonna be there that nice day, especially around here, and ain't gonna be there tomorrow. So I go and try to do as many different things as I can, and a lot of that does inform my work. So being around other people with different interests is always gonna be good, but if you are of the mindset that you don't wanna leave Washington, it doesn't hurt to do, you know, a couple of years in a community college or you know, a smaller school. Maybe spend some of the money that you were going to spend on college and do one of those online courses. You know, it's a lot cheaper to spend like $4,000 or $5,000 on 6 months of iAnimate to see if you really enjoy animating than it is to spend $200,000 going to USC from out of state. So, you know, try that out and see. Just make sure that it's something you want to do. But yeah, ultimately, I think go where you think you need to go, but do your homework, and you know, to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for disappointment later.